Hello and welcome back to Hawks podcast. The Vikings have finally taken their first loss, but at least it was to a worthy opponent. And the Seahawks have won despite being sick.
And having birthdays. Moving on then.
Yeah, you said having birthdays, and I'm just like, I don't know. What do you want me to say after that?
I don't know. Well, speaking of sucking, hello, New Orleans.
I don't know if it's so much as sucking. It's just that New Orleans and Tampa Bay are just missing half their teams at this point.
Though at least Tampa Bay hasn't lost five straight.
Yeah, that's true. But yeah, I mean, it's tough to do with all the injuries, I will say. But yeah, um, New Orleans dealing with rookie quarterback struggles for sure. Um, Denver's gotten a better hang of it, but their defense is largely carrying. Um, they actually got a run game established, which was surprising. But also that New Orleans defense being banged up, that probably helps. So yeah, I mean, I'll never be sad about the Saints doing poorly after Bountygate, but I am angry that Sean Payton is winning. So, as I'm sure you are as well,
Yeah, this
because we,
game, the Saints just, until they get Derek Carr back, they're just falling apart. And even with Derek Carr, they've lost five straight. They were 2-0, completely like collapsed and went 6 feet under. And honestly, even with them being in the weakest division, I can't exactly say that they still even have a chance to win that division. Tampa Bay is still at least above 500. The Falcons are still above 500. Um, like Saints have already lost to the Falcons. Saints have already lost to the Bucks. So that's two division losses you're not getting back.
yeah,
Um, Only thing
yep,
worse that would happen to the Saints is if they lost to the Panthers, and then yeah, just put up your cleats. See you in next year.
yeah. Which I don't even know when the next time they face them is because they already faced them once this year. That was one of the first two games, so might not be for a while. But um, speaking of great teams, New England at Jacksonville and London. Boy, now that's a game that everybody woke up to see. But no, Jacksonville, getting another win, delaying the firing of Doug Peterson by just a little bit longer.
If they
Um,
had lost, that would be it.
Probably, yeah. Um,
So the Saints face the Panthers again in 2 weeks.
2 weeks. Okay. So they'll finish with either the Falcons or the Bucks. So I know every division finishes with a division matchup. So
Yeah.
didn't know if it was Carolina or not. Um, but yeah, I don't really have anything else to say about New England at Jacksonville. I don't think anybody cares. Are we skipping our games till the end, or are we
Sure.
just gonna go ahead and do them?
Sure.
As in, sure, skip, or as in, sure, go ahead and do them?
Buffalo, Amari Cooper doesn't even know what he's doing and is still catching touchdowns. How does
Yep.
that feel, New York? Um, yeah, Tennessee just sucks. Amari Cooper looks good already, and he doesn't even know the playbook. He didn't. I don't believe it was reported that he. It was reported that he hadn't gotten the playbook until like Wednesday or Thursday last week. And Keon Coleman being the rookie telling the veteran what to do is funny, but yeah, Tennessee sucks. They were ahead early in the game. That was kind of it. Well, Levis sucks. What's the other guy's name that sucks? It just all sucks.
I don't even know who the backup is at this
Rudolph.
point. Rudolph, Mason Rudolph, yeah.
They all suck.
Well, it was his first game, I think, wasn't it?
I have no clue. The Titans have after the first two games with Will Levis making the stupidest mistakes you'll ever see. Actually, no, because Will Levis got hurt during the Dolphins game, so no.
Gotcha. Anyway, Buffalo wins. I don't. Okay. Most disappointing team this year that isn't because of injury, the Cincinnati Bengals. You beat Cleveland by one score after tearing their quarterback's Achilles,
It
and
was
you
up
can't eat
21-7 to like 1 minute left. It that score is
yeah,
closer than what it actually was.
true. But I mean, I don't know. The Bengals still suck, and they still have. It's not like they've lost any of their weapons. So,
Well, they had T. Higgins
um,
out for the first couple games. What are we doing here, man?
yeah, I'm just saying. I don't know. But Cleveland, I mean, they're shipping away everybody. Deshaun Watson gets hurt. Fans don't even know how they feel about that. So,
I think they
um,
actually do with the booing. I just don't think anyone
yeah,
knows whether that was a boo of "ooh, that sucks" or "ooh, you suck" as a human being.
right.
And I think
Yeah,
we both know which way that actually goes.
yeah, we do. The question is anybody gonna make a move for Miles Garrett or for Nick Chubb? Nick Chubb might want out of there. I
Nick
don't
Chubb
know.
would probably be a very low price for him, and Miles Garrett, that would probably be too high of a price than anybody would actually pay.
That is probably true. Houston at Green Bay, come one of the many games this slot that came down to a last minute field goal.
Green Bay has
So
a kicker.
they actually got one, which I hate, but um, hopefully he struggles in the future, and by the future I mean starting out this week. Um, and yeah, that's about it.
CJ Stroud,
Indianapolis
CJ
beat
Stroud's
Miami.
not looking too hot. 86 yards is kind of bad.
Yeah,
Um,
not in that game. No, he wasn't good.
Love threw two picks and you still couldn't win. Um, Joe Mixon's still doing well, so that's one good thing for you. Other than that, that kind of it.
Oh
Um,
yeah, CJ Stroud had an off game. It happens. Green Bay's got a top tier defense, so
they
it
gave up
happens.
22 points.
That doesn't mean they don't have a top tier defense.
I would not call that a top tier defense. Are we forgetting that they gave up 34 to the Eagles?
Name me a team that gives up 7 points a game.
They're not giving up 7 points a game, though.
No, but I'm just saying, like you're saying they're not an elite defense. Like what team is giving up seven? What team's shutting out every opponent? There are no top defenses in that regard.
I'm not saying that they have to give up seven. I'm saying they're not a top tier defense compared to other defenses.
Okay, they're very slept on, I will say, I guess, in that regard. But either way, they're like number one in takeaway or number two in takeaways, I think.
Well, when one guy has like 5 picks in 7 games,
They were getting consistent pressure on Stroud, so that means their D line is good, like I told you they were. Um, yeah. Um, Sucks, but oh well. It was just a bad week for the Vikings because they lost and everybody else won or was on a bye week. So, um, but we're still 5-1. We good. Miami at Indianapolis. This is probably the game that the least amount of people watched in the 1 a.m. slot. Just because like Bengals Cleveland is at least a division matchup, so you kind of have people watching that. Um, but I don't know. Indianapolis should just stick with Joe Flacco, honestly. But for our game, I hope they stick with him. We play him in a week and a half, so or I guess 2 weeks from now. We have a Thursday night game against the Rams this week, so that's why I thought about a week and a half. Um, let's see here. I'm gonna go ahead and get my game out of the way, just because. Um, myself included, and a lot of other people believed that after the game was over, we just got crushed by 30. But I think that's just the weight of having such a big undefeated streak and thinking like the best of your team and then just it all crumbling down at once. Questionable calls by KOC at the end, and really it was just ourselves shooting ourselves in the foot for the majority of the time. A lot of pre-snap penalties, which is not on one player, it's on the team. It's on coaching, which is just stuff that needs to be cleaned up. Like the different, like we had the same amount of penalties as Detroit, but Detroit's was all holding and player specific penalties. Ours were mostly team penalties. So again, it's just very sloppy play out of a bye week. So if half our team wasn't still in Cancun, maybe we win this game. If Sam Darnold could convert third down, maybe we win this game, or maybe if we go for it on fourth down. But there's a lot of maybes. Maybe if he misses the kick, then we win 29-28. But you know, it is what it is. Detroit is one of the best teams in the league. We both picked them to go to the Super Bowl this year. So with our first loss to them only being by two, got to keep our heads hung high and just going in next week trying to get 1-0. Aaron Jones was back. He got a touchdown, one of the easiest of his career to start the game. So gotta love seeing that. Hawkinson will either be back this week or next week against the Colts. So we'll see how he does. He'll definitely improve our offense, which should only help us get better as a team. We are rumored to be high buyers at the trade deadline, so I'm hoping we throw in a couple first round picks and some change for Dexter Lawrence. That's my personal favorite of the rumors going around right now. Um, but yeah, I think the second half our defense really stepped up and our offense, answered the bell in terms of making this game closer than how it was after the first half. Proud of how we fought back and didn't just lay down and take it. Um, but I think in the end, we just KOC's got to get better at play calling, and hopefully Flores learned that when you can't get home with the blitz against Detroit, who has the best offensive line in the league, you got to stop sending seven guys on a blitz because you're just going to get burned. Two of the touchdowns were on a seven-man blitz. Um, and yeah, so I'm not actually feeling too bad about it. Still 5-1, so all good. Moving on to Philadelphia at the Giants, unless you have more to say, Matt.
I'd like to say something, but you're on copium right now, so I'm just gonna let that pass.
How am I on cope?
When you're saying what if he missed when he's been 10 for 10 this year, that's a little weird.
No, I mean,
Um,
like, I'm just saying there's a lot of things that could have gone into it. It looked like it was hooking right at the beginning, but then it goes in. Like, I'm just saying there's a myriad of things that could have happened that could have changed the outcome of this game. Like,
well, it's also if
it's a
your
two,
run defense doesn't give up 5.3 yards per rush or gives up a long of 45, or lets Jared Goff go 22 of 25 for 280 yards, two touchdowns, averaging 11.2 yards per. Don't give Amon-Ra St. Brown 8 catches for 112 yards on eight receptions, 8 targets. That ain't great. Jahmyr Gibbs, 4 receptions, 4 targets for 44 yards. Khalif Raymond, 3 of 4 for 39. David Montgomery, 3 of 4, 39. Laporta, one of
and a
two for
fumble
twenty-five.
that
Tim
he should
Patrick,
have had two fumbles actually.
not getting into that. What else is here? Don't let Sam Darnold get absolutely obliterated in the backfield, but that's another thing.
Same amount of sacks as Jared Goff had, so you don't need to bring that up. And hey, at least we're not the Seahawks. There you go. We'll get into this. Okay. At least we're not the Seahawks. They suck. Um, and we also didn't let Jared Goff go completely perfect in the game. We didn't let him get a receiving touchdown in the game. So that's good.
Who
We'll
got
go more
sacked four
copium
times
into
this
this.
week?
We'll
Hmm?
go more copium into this.
Who got
Um,
Who got sacked 4 times this week? Hmm?
Sam Darnold, Jared Goff.
And Geno Smith only sacked one, so I'll let you hold that right there.
Who cares? He was probably sacked more against Detroit.
Okay, then we're doing this.
So, Anyway, we only lost by two. I think it's fine. I think
Got
Matt's just
sacked
bitter
three
we didn't lose
times.
by more like he did. So, he's mad that we're not 4-3 like his team is. So, he's just going off about that. I don't think the world's falling down because our team lost against one of the best teams in the league by two. So, I'm just saying we're going 1-0 into the next, or like going 0-0, trying to go 1-0 the next week. That's really all I was trying to say. But no, there's a ton of things in that game that could have gone differently. There were clearly three holding penalties on Jameer Gibbs' first touchdown of the game. That if you get that called back, that's not only a 30-yard rush off the board, that's a score off the board. So that helps take into the rushing yards into account, that you mentioned earlier. They also didn't call the fumble recovery correct, so that's also another swing in the game. And yeah, so overall, you got to play better than the refs ref, and we did not do that. So we shot ourselves in the foot, and that's the main reason why we lost. And I'm now no longer ever going to give you a reprieve because that was awful. I don't think that that's any reason. You just listed off a ton of bad stuff, then that's just not how you do things. Because we had a lot of positives in that game as well. So yeah, I think now if this was a blowout, then I think you do list off all those things. Like if we actually did lose by 30, then you rattle off all those stats. But we didn't. So I think it was pretty clear that this was a close game. Somebody had to win it. Happened to be Detroit. GG. On to the next one. It's really how I see it. So Philadelphia at the Giants. Saquon got his revenge. Giants didn't got a field goal. Congrats. Um, Vegas at the Rams. Los Angeles still playing well without Cooper Cup, who they're going to get back against us. So it should be interesting to see them back at nearly full strength. I don't know the timeline on when Puka Nakua is coming back, but that will be interesting. Las Vegas with O'Connell injured, just they're done. Uh, they've been done, but I don't know if Max Crosby's going to get traded or not. But supposedly he's a Raider for life. But the I don't is the Raiders organization even capable of being saved at this point?
Is that can I answer?
Yeah,
Right now, with the Raiders organization, with just trading off Devontae Adams just because Aaron Rodgers wants it and not having an actual quarterback right now, I think you and me both agree that which we call its name has Gardner Minshew's magic has run out for the year. He had his games. He had the Ravens game. Now he's done. They
yep,
don't have an acceptable quarterback. Their defense has been up and down with injuries. This year's just not recoverable, especially in a division with the Chiefs. You know?
yeah. I'm here.
Okay.
Okay, I thought you were gonna go into the next game.
Oh, okay.
Washington did what we expected. As did the Panthers, and now we're just hoping that Jaden Daniels is okay. He needs to continue his offensive rookie of the year um experience because he is the clear front runner, and if he gets hurt, I literally have no idea who it would go to. So um definitely need to get him healthy. Hope for a speedy recovery there. He's supposedly week to week, so hopefully if he has to miss time, it'll just be 1 week to get him all squared away. Really just hoping the best for him. All right. So San Francisco has just decided to revert back to the 2018 ways where they're just injured to all get out. Um, and yeah, so the Chiefs were definitely able to take advantage of that and also just play decent football game. Well, actually, I won't even say that. Mahomes has thrown 6 touchdowns and 8 interceptions this season so far. They're really not playing the best ball. They're playing good defense, but um they've got a rushing attack with Hunt, but I don't know. I still question the actual regular season play of the Chiefs. The three-peat is going to happen, but it's just when are they going to drop a really embarrassing game this season? Because it's coming with the way Mahomes has been playing.
Unless the
But San
defense just,
Francisco, I don't know if there's any hope for San Fran.
yeah, Kyle Shanahan can't beat and Andy Reid. Kansas City's defense is still just being locked down right now. I'd probably have them as the best defense just because your quarterback is still sucking and they're still winning. Can't really say much better about their defense than being able to win those games. Uh, Deebo Samuel, hope he gets better. I know he's dealing with some health issues that I don't believe are really football related, more of just personal health related with pneumonia. Blah.
Mhm.
Ayuk, I think, tore his ACL and MCL, which not great. They said that he's going to be out the whole year and possibly it will be into the 2025 season before he is able to return. Um, and we still don't know if McCaffrey will even be back this season. So it's just basically going to come down to Kittle and Juwan Jennings, which I don't think those two can make up for all of those losses on offense. Their defense has still been shaky. So, yeah, not much to say other than San Fran, you might be cooked.
Yeah, I mean it's hard to recover from all those injuries. It really is. Um, they've got to turn it around quick. They really do. I mean, there's still a shot. That division is wide open. I mean, you've got two, 3, and 4 teams, a 4-3 team, and the Rams are 2-5, 2-4.
I can look. Hold on. You continue.
So yeah, I mean the division's still wide open. Definitely hasn't been decided through 7 games, and I don't think, most divisions are not decided within that many games. So I mean, there's still a chance, but they've really just got to buckle down and hope they can beat their next few opponents with their defense. It's going to be a tough ask, but I mean, I
Rams are
think
2-4. San Fran's 3-4. Arizona's 3-4. Seattle's 4-3. So
yep.
it's
So
still
yeah, everybody's
there,
within one win.
but it's also the 49ers. It's one thing if they're like if it's the Ram situation where you believe you'll get them back at some point, it's just try to pull out some wins till they get back.
Mhm.
For the 49ers, there is no reinforcements coming. I don't know if they have any ability to or what they could possibly trade for, knowing their cap situation coming into next year. They paid Ayuk. They're going to have to pay Brock Purdy, um, several other players. I think didn't McCaffrey also get a contract? So just a lot of things that ain't looking too hot right now for them.
Yeah. I mean, at least you'll get Debo back at some point. Or at least you hope that he recovers. Um, but yeah, I mean, at the trade deadline, I mean, maybe they go and get some second strings to try and get some depth pieces and coach them up to be better. Because I mean, with Kyle Shanahan as your head coach, you're never out of it. I will say. So, I mean, there's a chance they turn it around, but I mean, it's just going to take a lot of work, and Kyle's really going to have to sit that group down and really just, really talk to the athletic training staff too, and just be like, hey, get these guys right, help keep these guys healthy. That's been a problem for them. So they've probably run through athletic trainers like crazy in the past several years. Um, Russell Wilson's back, and he's actually good, so that's good to see. Um,
Looks really as the Russell Wilson I don't know what I'd call myself, but for watching Russell Wilson over multiple years, I believe I have a understanding of the Russell Wilson magic and BS that comes with Russell Wilson every game. This game was only just the first quarter, actually mostly like the first and 3 quarters of the second quarter. The Russell Wilson magic actually kicked in like at the end of the second quarter and the rest of the game. Now, a lot of it was the Jets sucked. Aaron Rodgers had a couple bad turnovers. Garrett Wilson had that really bad interception where it bounced off of his chest into the defender's arms. Kind of a freak play, but I don't know if you're a Steelers fan, you take it. Um, and Najee Harris got the run game going. Pickens, Pickens, I apologize. I did not know your game. Bro can make some circus catches. Like you had the one that came off the
You
guy's
didn't know that from a
shoulder.
couple years ago?
Huh?
He had the catch of the year a couple years ago, or like it was second place to Jefferson's in the Bills game, 2022.
Stuff. We
He had
haven't seen it
amazing
with a
circus
quarterback
flash out on
like
the ground.
Wilson, and there's been a lot of people saying that one thing I think we need to start giving Tomlin a bit more credit because even people in the organization didn't want him to switch to Wilson because he was telling people, or he had it going out there saying that if the Russell Wilson experiment fails, it's all on him and him alone. So it wasn't even people in that organization that were wanted Russell Wilson to start. And he came out, yes, he did look shaky for about 2 quarters, but those were some moon balls that you did not see Justin Fields doing. We'll see if Russ can stay healthy, but with a game against the Giants on Monday Night Football next week and then a bye week, might be an interesting time to see how the Steelers do and whether or not they will be an actual contender this year, especially with the Ravens having a little bit of issues. Bengals definitely having their own issues, and then Cleveland probably being out of it early in the year.
There we go. Then I think the Jets are just done.
Yeah. That,
Pack it up.
who do they play next week?
Uh, don't even know. I did not pick them though. If unless they're on a bye.
Nobody's on a bye next. That's the Dolphins. Where the hell is it? Oh, at Patriots. Huh.
Maybe I did pick them. Let me see. I don't know.
It's funny
Yeah,
how
I might take them over the Patriots, but
it's funny how
that
the Jets beat the Patriots and we're like, okay, now they finally got it going. They have not won since.
yep. Maybe they'll win again. Hey, now they finally got it going. Oh man. All right. Baltimore at Tampa Bay. All right. You knew this was going to be a high scoring game because both these teams are really, really good. But I got an issue with Tampa Bay. Godwin does not get hurt if you just accept defeat with there being like 30 seconds left on the clock. You're down two scores. You have no timeouts. Even with two onside kicks, you're not going to get this. Like, just sit the guys down, get ready. You already lost Mike Evans earlier in the game. Be good and just like, all right, man, we lost this one. It's to an AFC team, so it's not as important as we need it to be. Just take the L, be ready for next week. But no, they keep going, and Godwin gets hurt, and then they keep going after that. And I'm just like watching the end of that, I was just very displeased with how Tampa chose to play the last 30 seconds of it. Like, I get it. You don't want to ever show that you're giving up. But in that case, like, it's about player safety more than it is about giving up at that point. Like, if they were down one score, that's a completely different conversation. But when you're down 10 and and again, you have 30 seconds left and no timeouts, you're not getting 10 points in 30 seconds because you're not getting that other onside kick and you still got to make your way down the field. So, I
And
mean,
Godwin will likely be out for the year. Mike Evans will probably, with the hamstring injury, will likely be out till week 11.
yeah. So, I mean, your offense is taking a major blow here. I mean, you still got a great tight end who had a field day yesterday in Kate Otten. Um, and you've still got Bucky Irving and what's his face as great backup running backs to Rashad White, who are up and coming back. So I mean, maybe you put one of them at receiver, but I don't even know at this point. They're in a division where it's only a two-horse race between them and Atlanta, so maybe they're buyers at the deadline to try and get a receiver. Um, But overall, like they've got problems now that aren't even because of that loss. Like again, like losing to Baltimore is no like slap in the face to anybody. Like again, if you lose to the Vikings, the Lions, the Baltimore Ravens, or the Chiefs, nobody's really gonna bat an eye. They're not gonna be like, oh man, like why the heck do you lose this game? Like it was a hard fought battle. Like they did pretty well, but they had a 10-point lead. They let it slip away. Um, and then they tried to come back again after Lamar Jackson just went all out on them, and now they're out there two best receivers. So that's really tough. And then Baltimore is just looking unstoppable on offense, like they have all year since they started
Almost
using
like
Derrick
they should
Henry.
have run
Huh?
Derrick Henry since the beginning.
Yeah, and then that would have been the Chiefs' first loss
Also,
had they chose.
time. I know they didn't play this week, but I need to make this statement now that we're talking about Derrick Henry. Dallas Cowboy fans, how are we feeling about your owner right now saying that, oh, Derrick Henry wouldn't be doing that well this year because, oh, he wouldn't fit into our system. That's our excuse now. First it was, oh, we didn't have the money. Now it's,
Yeah,
oh, well, he wouldn't be doing this well in our system. You are coping and seething, my dude, and you just need to eat it. Um,
yeah.
yeah,
No,
just
Dallas fumbled for sure.
and he was in Dallas, sending it out there reportedly that he wanted to be a Dallas Cowboy, and you don't even give this man a shot. Oh no, we'll bring Ezekiel Elliott back in when we kicked him out when he was only getting like 1 to 2 yards per carry, like 2 years prior. It'll be fine. Oh God, darn it.
It's just crazy.
Uh, Chargers, you suck. That's all I gotta say.
No touchdowns. Your offense is Dicker the kicker. It that that's what it is. Like Justin Herbert can pass for all the yards he wants to, but he's got to get it in the end zone, and that's Kyler Murray's best ability is that when he gets into the red zone, he scores touchdowns. Um, and James Conner had himself a freaking day. Um, so I mean, the Cardinals, man, they might be sneaky. Like I said, they'd be scrappy this year, but I don't know. They start stringing some things together.
We keep
Might,
saying that like every other week, and then the next week they get absolutely smacked. So I need to see a little bit of consistency before we start talking about them as a threat. Before we
yeah,
end
that's
off
true.
this episode, I'm just going to run down a list of things that have happened. Chiefs cornerback Watson has a broken fibula and tibia. Not great. The Rams open up practice window for injured Nakua. They are also, I believe, hoping they were reportedly wanting or thinking Cooper Kupp could come back on Sunday. They didn't. We'll see if he comes back on Thursday. Um, Commanders released former first round pick defensive end Jamin Davis from 2021. Um, Lions, Jameson Williams facing 2 game suspension. Watch what you're
I was
eating.
about to say for after a catch for -2 yards.
And Tua is reportedly might be back this Sunday. I don't know exactly what to say to that, but just be careful. Don't do any stupid things like running into Tamar Hamlin head on. Don't do stupid shit like that. Just go down. What you were doing last year worked perfectly. You never had a concussion last year. Just go down. Do that whole training crap that you said last year was going to help you. Do that. Don't go running for tackles when you're down by 20 for no reason. Just be safe and be smart, and you can play.
We,
We
we
saw
might be
it
seeing
happen
the
last
first
week.
quarterback to wear that new helmet this year.
I don't know if that would help, Tyler. That's the bad thing because it's not the helmet to helmet, it's the helmet to the ground.
Yeah.
I don't know if it protects against that. I'm sorry if it does. My apologies. I take back my statement. But like he needs to be smart. These unnecessary hits because like he has a history. And if he keeps doing this, we're going to see Antonio Brown part two. We don't need to have two Antonio Browns running around the US.
Oh, it's
Two
it's gonna be no, it's worse than that. If he has it again, he's disabled. Like
probably. Just Tua, please be smart. I don't want to see a highlight on NFL Red Zone of you being on the ground sideways with your hands crumpled up. It's terrifying to see. It's probably even more terrifying to your friends and family. It's probably hard to see to your teammates. Not probably, it is hard to see for your teammates. Just please be smart. Please. I know there's some hits that you can't stop, getting sacked and whatever. Ain't the greatest place to be, but just be smart. All I gotta say. Oh,
Yeah,
wait,
I'm
hold on.
I'm
Aaron Rodgers, one
still
more thing.
surprised he's.
Sorry.
Yeah,
There
you're
was
good.
one more thing. Rodgers, Jets playing too angry, need to have fun. Shut up and put the fries in the bag already. Like I can we need to retire this man. Can we put in like some sort of Aaron Rodgers' band already? Or just can't talk in interviews anymore? Just shut this man up.
They don't have anybody else left to fire to blame, so
The owner.
Aaron Rodgers has to get it together now.
And then blames the media after the game Sunday night. Like, bro, oh, it's so frustrating. But
I will say Nick Sirianni delivered after last week. Also, Saquon's sportsmanship is something to be admired. There was a field access that had Sirianni go sit on the bench and was like, Saquon, you only need 13 yards to beat your career high. I'd like to see you get that. And Saquon was like, nah, let the young dogs eat. I'm just like, that's awesome.
I
That's
will
just great to
say,
see a player like that.
Giants fans, you shouldn't be booing that dude. You should be booing your own damn team
Yep.
because they were the ones that didn't want him anymore. They were the ones that paid the absolute embarrassment of a quarterback you have right now. Not his fault. You should have paid
Not
the
at all.
no reason to boo him.
Exactly.
That's all I have, unless you got something else to say.
Nah, I mean, you still got your game to react to, but yeah.
This is fair. Just seeing that picture, I'm like, wait a second. I didn't talk about K9 with his two TD game, flu-like symptoms, and
Hold on, wait. Before we start, I have another happy birthday thing. Congratulations on beating your first NFC team.
moving on. Kirk
It
Cousins.
finally happened.
Well, hey, we beat Kirk Cousins for you, so you should be a little bit happy.
Oh, I am happy. I'm for sure happy. I was just waiting for y'all to beat an NFC team, and it finally happened. So I'm happy. It's a congratulatory thing. And yes, I am petty. I do want Kirk Cousins to fail.
Yeah, this game was looking like it was going to be a lot closer earlier, especially with Bijan Robinson like being actually good in the run game. Um, if you had told me Cal Pitts had 7 receptions for 65 yards and Bijan ran for 103 and Kirk Cousins had 232 yards, I would have been like, not great. But back to back, and that's not it. There's more. To back, fumble for a touchdown, pick, pick in 3 straight possessions. Kirk Cousins, you suck. Seahawks finally get a win. This was a much needed win, especially on the road, especially the games we have coming up next. But JSN completed a pass for 35 yards.
Yeah, that was cool to
Kenneth,
see.
Kenneth Walker had 2 touchdowns. The catch he had was absolutely like amazing. Just the way he caught it. Um, Sadly, this game we did not get out without some loss. DK did injure his knee when he came down a little bit wrong. Um, you, I've been hard on Gino, and I'm still kind of hard on him until he wins like an actual big. The Falcons, I didn't even have them in my top 10. And I didn't think they were actually that great. This kind of proves it when we beat them by 20. I think you agree with that, even though we'll get to that later. Um, but DK goes down. He's week to week. Gino is on the sideline watching him like run up and down or whatever, and Gino's like, Because Gino felt bad because he felt like he put DK in a bad position there for his landing, where he threw the ball and was like, I got massages for you for the week. Like, it's one of those things where Gino as a person is a great person. It's just the limitations as a QB in the National Football League makes it really hard. Because it's one of those, you love the guy, but damn, when he's on the field, it's annoying. And there was even some plays in this game. He didn't play bad, but 18 of 28 is just not that great of a percentage. But Seattle finally got a few things going. We're getting 4 yards per carry, 103 yards on the ground. Would be hoping we get Charbonnet a little bit better than 2.0 yards per carry, but he comes in a lot of um, basically short yardage packages or just trying to get some tough yards on the ground, which helps when you're trying to tire out a defensive line where they're actually having to tackle the dude, where K9's more of a I'm going to bounce it out to the outside or I'm going to try to find the hole to be a bit more of an evasive back than a power back. But hopefully, the more experience and the more years Charbonnet gets, the better he'll be. Um, Noah Fan actually had a pretty good game. 4 carries, 65 yards. Tyler Lockett made another appearance, four catches for 45. Jason a bit more of a quiet game, but it's one of those with so many, I wouldn't say weapons, but just with so many options, it gets a little hard to get all the catches distributed out evenly. We've seen games where JSN has more catches than Tyler Lockett, and Tyler Lockett's really quiet. It just depends who's hot that day, which it's fine. But yeah, one of the things that hopefully Seattle can build off this win. They were coming in with no momentum at all, 3 straight losses. We're able to get this game. So hopefully going on to the Bills game next week, we're able to pull something out of this game and face a pretty good Bills team. So all I got to say on that, unless you got something else to say.
I was muted. My bad.
I
Um,
was like, did this man leave?
I will say after I did go back and look because I was curious. Aaron Jones actually had 6.6 a carry this week, so that was actually pretty impressive on 14 carries. Um, so it's pretty
They're going to
cool,
be
but
missing Hutchinson. I think we're going to see later in the year that they will be missing Hutchinson, which I think it was reported Sunday that if they make a Super Bowl run,
yep,
Hutchinson could be back for the Super Bowl.
yep, that's what they
Wouldn't
said.
that be a crazy ass storyline where Lions get to the Super Bowl, Hutchinson's able to come back for the Super Bowl?
All just to lose to the Chiefs.
Yeah, probably.
It's
Yeah,
as Taylor Swift commands, Matt.
don't even be starting on that, man. But well, the MLB didn't bow down to Taylor Swift with the Cleveland Guardians, so sucks to suck.
Eh. A Cleveland Guardian isn't dating her or a family member, to my knowledge. So
No, but she was in the booth with Cleveland Guardian gear on.
yeah, well, not good enough, I guess. Got a dated player. Anyway, it don't matter. That's just a conspiracy theory. That's not even conspiracy theory. It's the truth. Um, but anyway, let us know what you think down in the comments. Am I on copium for thinking that it's not that bad that we lost by two, or was Matt harsh in his judgment
Okay,
on the
let me just
performance?
put this out here. The only reason I said what I said was nothing against you. You've been saying that you beat yourselves. I just want you to admit once. You after that you can go back to saying that you beat yourselves just once, say that you lost to the Detroit Lions, period.
We lost to the Detroit Lions.
Okay, there we go. We're good.
That's not, yeah, we lost the game. I've never not said that.
You had said you had lost to the Detroit Lions and refs. All I wanted you to say was you lost to the Detroit Lions. That's it. You can go
Yeah,
back to saying you. shot yourself in the foot now. I just wanted you to hear you say that once. I'm good now.
Yeah, that's what it was. Like we lost because we shot ourselves in the foot. That's the exact reason. Like those were drive killers. Exactly like what we're saying here. So, um, then you get ourselves into a bad spot. You back us up against our own end zone with the pre-snap penalties. Like it's not a good thing. You're not going to get out of the end zone that way. Um, especially if you're just going backwards. So just not good. But our team clawed and fought. Made it a close game with one of the best teams in the league that everybody's darling right now, other than the Chiefs. So I mean, again, I don't think it's copium to say that like we're still one of the best teams in the league and we still got a lot going for us.
Oh no, I
So
still like we'll get to power rankings in the next video, but I still have you up in the top five. At this point, I
yeah,
just feel like the Detroit Lions are just slightly better than the Vikings.
well, yeah, they beat us. So
Just because I feel like that offense, you have to take one thing away and they're going to kill you so the other way. We'll see how this. Well, who do they face next? The next two games
they faced the Titans.
in the packet. Okay, that Jamison Williams gets suspended and just gets 2 weeks off. That's fine. Um.
Yeah,
Oh wait. Never mind. Never mind. Never mind. Yeah. Then they have the Texans next. That should be a good game. But we'll get to those games when we get to those games. That'll be it for this one, and we'll be back for our power rankings, and then later in the week predictions, and on to the next week. So please comment, like, subscribe, and that'll be all.
peace.